Hello, and thank you for watching Accelerate with Nerdio. In this video, I'm going to walk you through customizing the URL address of your Nerdio Manager for MSP. We'll be following this guide here that can be found at help.nerdio.net, and we'll also provide a link to it in the video description. So let's go ahead and jump right in. We're actually going to start in Azure. I'm going to go to the app service running my Nerdio Manager for MSP. And again, we'll be able to look at some different things here. Right? We can see that URL that I'm currently managing it from, kind of long and definitely not something I can pull out of my hat immediately and remember. And we can also do something here. I want to point out, right? We can stop and restart the web app service that's running Nerdio Manager for MSP. And we'll talk about some of these functions in another video, but just keep in mind, right, if you're having trouble accessing that web service, maybe give it a reboot and see if it brings it right back up. So we'll consider that an extra tip in today's video. But following along here, right, we're actually going to go to custom domains right here. And so this is where we can start to look at our options. We'll see that we currently have the one we looked at earlier as an assigned custom domain. And now if we want to add an additional one, we would click on Add Custom Domain here. We would put that domain in. Maybe in our case, we're going to use something like, nmm.myitcompany.com. So you'll also notice here, right, we're going to need you to set up a CNAME record. I'm not going to do that here in the video. We would then validate that domain, and as we mentioned here, that might take a minute or two for that to succeed. And then once that's done, we'll see that listed here as our next custom domain. And we also recommend, right, you can set up secure SSL and upload a certificate, but the next place I want to point out is going to be the app registration. Before I leave the screen, though, I will point out, right, we mentioned in the article, going in and setting up the TLS SSL binding. You can do that right here. And then now we'll jump back to home, and we're going to go to Azure Active Directory. We're going to go to app registrations. And this is really key here. This is where we get a lot of feedback from partners that are having issues with these steps. You'll notice that it automatically shows owned applications. You actually need to click on all applications. And here we see web admin portal with that unique identifier. So we'll click on that. And then this is where we're going to be able to click on authentication. And then we could take our next step of adding that URL to the redirects. And so we would just add that one we talked about, nmm.myitcompany in here. We see that it matches the necessary requirements. We would hit save, and then we'd be able to come here, type in that new URL, and it should allow us to visit Nerdio Manager for MSP. So again, go through this article top to bottom. It will walk you through all the steps. And if you have any questions, you may need to open a ticket with Microsoft directly. Always check out help.nerdio.net for access to all of our amazing content. And thank you again for joining today.